Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee, man. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And in this lesson, I want to go in on this post, this article from the New York Post, that just shows you the mockery, it shows you the disrespect, and it shows you the non-care for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites, by the way, who are the true descendants and direct descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? And you are the chosen people. But see, America, Babylon the Great, doesn't consider that, nor do they give a damn, right? All nations on the earth hate you Israelites, man. You know, and they're pushing your buttons by ways of this. Now, this is from the New York Post. This came out August 1st, 2022. It says slave cabins listed as luxury stay on Airbnbs. How is this okay? So basically, they're telling you that what you served hardcore slavery and bondage in, they are what you were killed in, you were raped in. They're now considering them luxury cabins on Airbnb, man. Now you can come and enjoy and be comfortable and basically live, because wherever there are slave cabins, it was a plantation. So there are dead bodies and skeletons of the Israelites buried underneath them and all in that area. This is not okay. But to America, Babylon the Great, to Esau, Edom, who is the so-called white man, and all the other nations, it is okay, man. So we're going to read this, right? This was a direct curse. This is one of the curses from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua if we did not obey his laws and keep his sayings. That we was going to become an astonishment, right? Right? A proverb, a byword, a mockery. We were going to be all those things, man, if we did not listen. And this is just one of the examples of not listening to the Creator, to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So it reads, all right, and this is the post on TikTok right here, but we're going to read. It says, 1830s slave cabin listed on Airbnb as a luxe stay has been slammed for its tone-deaf nature, man. Because, Airbnb, they knew what this was, right? They knew it was a slave cabin. Did they give a damn? No. It said TikTok user Wonton Yates, who goes by Lawyer Winton, brought attention to the listing. As you can see, this is a so-called Negro. So it would be a so-called Negro that will have a problem with it, And it's a good thing that this brother had brought this out, because to everybody else it was okay. It says they didn't give a damn. It says posting screenshots of the 1830 structure, which was moved from a nearby plantation to the one it currently sits on. That was advertised as a meticulously restored bed and breakfast. The history of slavery in this country is continuous, is constantly denied, and now is being mocked by being turned onto a luxury vacation spot, man. So that's what it is. That's what it's turned into. To hell with what happened in those cabins. To hell who got killed. To hell with who was raped in there. Hey, we're gonna make it a vacation spot, man. And just completely regard the hell that the Israelites endured in those cabins, man. Right? And it didn't look that good back in those days. It was excuse my language, it was a piece of shit, right? You know. So I'm gonna read this part again, but I want to get some. I want to look up the definition of mockery, just for edification's sake, right? Now it says right here. I'm gonna read this again. It says the history of slavery in this country is constantly denied and now is being mocked by being turned into a luxurious vacation spot, right? So the definition of mockery: teasing and contemptuous language or behavior directed at a particular person or thing, man. Who is the person? The Israelites, man. So it's basically it's teasing you. Yeah, ha ha, you slaves, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We know y'all went in these slaves cabins, but now we gonna make them comfortable for us to live in, you know, to rent out, you know. Complete mockery, man. So it says Yates says in his clip, which has been viewed more than 2.6 million times. The listing, which has since been removed from Airbnb, was advertised as the Panther Burn Cottage at Belmont Plantation in Greenville, Mississippi, man. The description said it was formerly a slave cabin in the 1830s, then a sharecropper, right? What are we going to go to? Wait. Salakia. Then a sharecropper cabin and medical office for local farmers, man. Right? So this is, image of this, and it looks like one, man. It looks like a whole lot of wickedness was brought out of that house and into that house. Like, right? A lot of women were raped, right? A lot of husbands were raped, right? It says Winton Yates called out the former slave cabin being rented out as luxury accommodations. So Katie, this damn Edomite said memorable, highly recommended watching the sunset. It said we stayed in the sharecropper's cabin and ate in the main house. The house tour was great and was sold the breakfast. Right? Regardless, they didn't never once mention, I couldn't stay there because of what it represented. I couldn't stay there. That was never mentioned. Right? To show you that these people don't care. This is the inside, right? This would be like the bathroom in here, and I guess this was a bedroom and a tub, and look, it's pretty much intact to the 1830s, but they did some renovation to make it comfortable for the slave masters' children to come and enjoy it, man. It says Yates says slavery is being mocked by turning the property into a luxurious vacation spot. How is this okay in somebody's mind to rent this out? A place where human beings were kept as slaves, the civil rights attorney questioned in the now viral video, man. And he's an attorney, you know? But hey, the Most High said that this would happen. The Most High told us this was going to happen if we did not keep His laws, right? We was gonna live in the worst conditions, man. So Deuteronomy 28:16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field, man. So this was our city, the plantation. We was cursed on the plantations, man. We were cursed in the field, the cotton field, the sugarcane field, right? The barley field. We was cursed in those fields, man. We was getting beat. Our women were getting raped. They show you in these movies, 12 Years a Slave, Django, right? Roots, one of the most famous ones. They show you in these videos, in these movies, right? So it says, we're gonna go down. It says, verse 20, verse 30. It says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Because when the Israelite families would be sleeping in the cabins, the so-called white man would come in the cabins and take their wives out of there, right? Or come while the women were pregnant and come in the middle of the night and take the women out of the cabins and take them down to the lakes and the ponds, rape the women, rip the babies out of the stomachs, right? And use the babies for alligator bait. Come in there and buck break the men in the cabins, right? In front of their families. All this shit was going on in these cabins, man. All of these things, man. It says, and thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof, man. So we was doing all of these things on the plantation, right? Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, man. How we were sold? We were sold to slave master James, slave master Harold, slave master Howard, right? Jackson, right? All of them. We were sold to another people. Right? It says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long, because our families would get split up. Right? You have the son be sold to Jackson, and then the daughter will be sold to Brown. Right? And it says, and you will have no power to bring your family back together. They would just be gone. Right? It says, fill with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. Right? It says, we're going to jump down to 46. It says, and they shall be a sign upon thee, Salakia, and they shall be upon thee for a sign. What shall be upon all these curses? Right? Or be upon a certain people, which were the Israelites, as a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, until a certain time. Not forever and ever, but for a certain time. So verse 68, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, man. Right? By the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, man. So we were slaves. We were slaves, slave quarter, bed and breakfast, man. And now it's a luxurious vacation spot now. Right? To hell what the Israelites had to endure there. We don't care about that. You heard them. It's good. It's a good place to see the sunset. Right? The breakfast was good. Right? So we're going to continue on the article. It says, in screenshots posted by the TikTok and owner, Brad, has been identified as the superhost, with someone who goes above and beyond in their hosting duties and is a shining example of how a host should be as per their website. He adds the rave reviews on the property are just as shocking, with guests describing their stay as historic but elegant and memorable. Look at that. Look at that, man. And these devils, they gotta pay for this, man. They think that they're just gonna mock the Most High's chosen people, kill us, right? Rape us, rob from us, take everything we have, split up our families, right? Beat us to death. And they believe that there's nothing gonna happen to them, man. Right? They believe these things. They believe these things, man. Right? And then the nations, their response would be like, well, not just Negroes went into slavery, everybody was a slave. You know, my family came over here as indentured servant. An indentured servant and a slave are two different things, man. You know, two different damn things, man. Daniel 9 and 12. And he have confirmed his words which he spake unto us, the Israelites, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. This was part of the great evil right here, being in these slave quarters, right? It says, for under the whole heaven have not been done as been done upon Jerusalem. So ain't nothing no other nation can say, or nothing that no other nation has went through that was worse than what the Israelites went through, man. You know, that's just what it. That's just what it is. And Yahweh Shemel Shah said so. So that stands. Nothing goes over that. Right? Lamentations, right? Let's get Lamentations real quick. Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 14. And it reads, thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, right? Because our forefathers, right, and the prophets, at the time, we didn't know. Because it would be some of our people that were saying, why have God brought these things upon us, right? It says, to turn away thy captivity. So we didn't discover our sins and what we were doing wrong to turn away our captivity back then. But now it was always prophesied that a time during the time in the earth, which is now, that the Israelites would know their sin and would turn back, and that our captivity would begin to be reversed. That's what you see going on now, right? It says, to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for all these false burdens and causes of banishment. Banishment just means to leave alone, like, you know, turn his face. The Most High turned his face to us, man. He wasn't hearing us for a time. Verse 15. All that pass by clap their hands. This is what these nations do. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their heads. So it's basically like they looking at us, they like, waving they, like shaking their heads and hissing like, It says, at the daughter of Jerusalem, the Israelites, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty? So now these nations are looking at the children of Israel, and they seeing the condition and the state that we are in, and they just looking like, yo, these are the people? These are the true Israelites, right? These are the true Jews, right? They can't believe it. It says the joy of the whole earth. So they saying, is this the joy of the whole earth? Because from what we see and from what's told to us in the media, that these people are wicked. These people are animals. These people are niggas and spicks and wetbacks, right? Verse 16. All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee. Now everybody talks. right? Everybody got something to say about the Israelites, how wicked we are, how full of shit we are, right? It said they hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. They say we overcame the Israelites. They are our servants now. Now they got to do what we say. Now we can oppress them, right? It says we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. So all these nations, they look for this day to happen. They look at the day that they can mock our slavery, mock our times, our trouble, you know, mock our destruction. This is what they're doing. They look for this day. It says, we have found, we have seen it. And that's where we're living. We're seeing the mockery. And this should piss you off, man. I know this brother was pissed off, man. Right? I know this brother was pissed off. You know? So that's what you got going on. So let's go back to, let's read a little bit more. Let me see. Should I play the video? Let me see. Let's play it. Let's see what we get. They're going to let it play. Let's see. Let me see. Profile. They're not letting it play. Let me see. I seen one going up. No. It was supposed to play, but, you know, this thing is acting crazy. Let me see something. Let's see. All right. What is Salakia? Salakia, brothers. I don't know what happened. Salakia Israel. But it played the audio. All right. We're just gonna go back to the thing. But you get the picture though. It says Yates says an accurate history of the cabin has not been shown at all, with no attempts to educate people on the actual conditions slaves lived in, with the accommodations featuring modern amenities such as Wi-Fi and running water. Because like I said earlier, these cabins they did not look like that. They made some adjustments. Our people live like hell in these cabins, man. It said Mike reports, there are several other properties that also advertise other former slaves' quarters as luxury accommodations. A representative for Airbnb told the Post in a statement that properties that formerly housed the enslaved have no place on Airbnb. We apologize for any trauma or grief created by the presence of this listing and others like it. So they got others like this, man. These other nations, they don't give a damn what you went through, Israel. But you want to love these people, man. All these people are the same, man. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man as a whole, they hate you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But you just continuously want to love them, man. And the Most High got something for you that just no matter what, you gonna love them. Right? All right, let's get something real quick. Jeremiah 18, right? Jeremiah 18. Jeremiah 18, verse 15. Because my people have forgotten me, they have burned incense to vanity, they have caused them to stumble in their ways, from the ancient paths to walk in paths and the way not cast up, to make their land desolate and a perpetual hissing. Everyone that passeth thereby shall be astonished and wag his head, the same as it said back in Lamentations, right? So these nations are gonna make fun of you, basically. I'm gonna put it like that. They just gonna make fun of you, right? It says, verse 17, I will scatter them as when an east wind before the enemy. I will show them the back and not the face in the day of their calamity. So the Most High turns his back on us. The Most High said, you don't want to listen? You don't want to do what I told you? All right, I'm going to turn my back on you. I'm going to turn my face from you. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to hear you when you cry out to me. And the Most High was justified in it, man. The Most High was righteous when he did that, man. Because our people are wicked as hell, and you see it even unto this day. Right? So the no running water, no Wi-Fi, living in hellish conditions. Hey, the Most High was justified in doing that to us because you don't deserve nothing if you don't obey Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. It says a representative. Oh, okay, I read that one. All right, it says the representative, Salakia. It says, we apologize for any trauma or grief created by the presence of this listening and others like it, and that we did not act sooner to address this issue. The representative added that in recent days, the company removed the Mississippi listing, is removing listings in the U.S. known to include former slave quarters, and is working with experts to develop new policies that address other properties associated with slavery. Who would think to put that up? The same people that run Airbnb. They would have left it up there if this brother didn't come forth with this, they would have left it up there. People would have been in there. People would have been still living and sleeping and enjoying breakfast and Wi-Fi and running water in these slave cabins, man. It says in the follow-up video, Yates says he thinks the slave cabins on plantations should be kept in their original conditions to educate people on the conditions enslaved men, women, and children were forced to endure. Enslaved Israelite men, women, and children were forced to endure. The owners of these properties in the present day should be obligated or feel obligated to research and actually find the history of these places, because all these things were passed down from generation to generation upon the slave master on their to their children. So these children of these slave masters, they know what's going on, right? Do they care? No, they don't give a damn, man. They don't give a damn, right? They don't give a damn, man. They throwing it in your face. They're mocking you in your face. It says, let's see. I'm going to read this part again. The owners of these properties in the present day should be obligated or feel obligated to research and actually find the history of these places, these plantations, find the people that lived there, their lives, their names, because there are people's ancestors that are still alive today. He says, exactly. There are so many Black Americans. No, we're not Black and we're not Americans. We are Hebrew Israelites. There are so many Hebrew Israelites in this country that do not have the opportunity, the resources, or the ability to know who their ancestors are, know the names of their ancestors. He continued, citing the Whitney plantation in Louisiana as an example of somewhere doesn't shy away from the history in other clips. I think these places should remain, but they should remain in a way that gives something back to the communities that are still affected by the things that happen in these places, he explains, man. And if the Most High put it in your mind and through your knowledge to know these things that went on these plantations, you would be hella mad, man. Right? You will want to get back. So this will be my last one in closing out. Because we are gonna get back. These devils, right? That did all these things to our people, they're gonna get paid back. Double what they did. Baruch 4:25. I'm gonna start at 25. It says, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. My children suffer patiently, right? Salakia, Salakia. I got twisted in there. Salakia. My children, the verse 25. My children suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High. For thy enemy have persecuted thee. Right? Who's the enemy? So-called white man, Esau, Edom, so-called African, Arab, Chinese, Japanese, East Indian man. Those are all our enemies. Right? For thine enemy have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck. Right? My delicate ones have gone rough ways. Who are the delicate ones? The Israelites. And were taken away as the flock caught of the enemy. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High. Right? For ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. So the Most High, he set a time that this was going to happen to him. After that, he was going to pull back. He was going to turn back to his people. He was going to turn back to Israel, man. Right? For as it was your mind, as Salakia, for as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation. So this ain't going to go on, man, too much longer. All the things that the enemy has done, all the things that Esau, Edom has done to us, and the mockery that he has done to us is gone. He's going to pay for that. Verse 30, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoice at thy fall. So all these nations that rejoiced, like I read in Jeremiah, like I read in Lamentations, right? It said, miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. We were slaves where? Here in America and throughout the four corners of the earth. So this whole world, this whole earth, man, right? Throughout the four corners of the earth, they're going to be miserable. All these nations that had their foot and played a part in the slavery of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the Israelites, they are going to be miserable. It said, miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy son. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. So she going to be made desolate. All these nations. Verse 34. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. Esau, Edom, your pride is going to be turned into mourning. Right? For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. Man. Right? So these nations, they got to pay. These nations have to pay, man. Rightfully so. All praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua for that, man. They have to pay. They got to pay. There's nothing you can say, nothing you can do. Right? There's nothing they can say, nothing they can repent from. Hey, they got to deal with it. This will be my last one. I said that was going to be my last, but this is going to be my last one. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 15. This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly, that said in her heart, I am, and there is none beside me, thinking they the Most High. Esau Edom swears he's the Most High. It says, how is she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie down in? So this is going to happen to America, right? America is going to be a desolation. And it's going to be a place for beasts to lie down in. Everyone that passeth by her shall hiss and wag his hand. So we're going to look at the desolation and the destruction of of America, Babylon the Great, and we're gonna do the same thing that they did to us when we fell. Right? So yeah, I'm gonna just deal with that. I'm gonna just I wanna let me see if I wanna go into some of these uh these comments. So let me read a little bit of these comments. It says, so they are mad about the history of the place not being listed on their home. How about all the statues that were torn down of my history by Black Lives Matter? And the Most High ain't dealing with Black Lives Matter, you damn devil. It says, my ancestors came from poor mining shanties in West Virginia. I would not be mad if they were repurposed, proposed for people to stay in. I would even go and visit, right? And look the history up on the internet. Another part of my heritage is Native American Indian. Well, that is all gone. These people need to quit canceling everything, right? So it's evident that these devils, they always try to fit what they want, which they ain't go through a damn thing, man. That indentured servant, you came over here freely, and after 7 years, you would get land, you would get a bunch of resources that you can survive. That didn't happen with so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That didn't happen. We built this whole damn country up. So we should be the richest out of everybody. All we know. You know? So let me see. Let me see. All right. Well, that's all I'm gonna go into. You know, Yahweh Shem Shah, the elect was edified. Hey, Israel, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'Hashem Wakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. Yeah, so know your enemies, Israel. Know that these devils, they hate you, man. And they're going to continue to mock. But soon, the Most High is going to turn the tables, man. And he's turning the tables now. But all that was done to us is going to be done to them. Till next time, Israel, love y'all. Repent, keep the commandments, seek Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Shalom, Israel. Love y'all.